There are certain games that get released in North America that either I was too young to get a chance to play, or didn't play because I didn't know about them at the time. My first exposure to Dragon Warrior was the first one on the NES. I didn't get a chance to play it anymore until Dragon Quest VII on the PlayStation 1. Sure, with the advent of emulators, we can explore this history of a whole game franchise. The thing is, back then, if you didn't see it, it pretty well didn't exist to you. So, when I got a shot to explore the franchise, I figured, why not? And holy crap! If you want a JRPG series that is a textbook example of grinding, then look no further. Because today, we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Warrior 3, and we are going to be taking a look at the Game Boy Color remake in comparison to the NES version. Dragon Warrior 3's development cycle isn't all that complex. It was developed by Chunsoft, published by Enix, was released in February 1988 in Japan and March of 1992 in North America. Now get this, since the Dragon Quest series basically gave a gaming dynasty to Enix in Japan, it got a bunch of remakes, re-releases, much like other games. It got a Super Famicom or SNES release in 1996, a Game Boy Color version in 2000 for Japan, with North America getting it in 2001, a mobile phone version in 2009, which was Japan only, has a rumored Android and iOS version to be announced, and it was a part of the collection for the 25th anniversary of the series on the Wii, which again, Japan only. Dear God, if you think you are sick of seeing remakes of Final Fantasy IV, I take pity on you for how many remakes there is of the first 3 Dragon Warrior games in Japan. As for the people behind the game, Chunsoft developed the majority of the Dragon Warrior and or Dragon Quest games, with Enix was purely a publisher. Now here's something I found interesting with Chunsoft. According to GameFAQs.com, they also developed games like 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series, Sharon the Wanderer for the Wii, Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward for the PlayStation Vita, and the 3DS version as well. The vast majority of their games they develop would never get a North American release, and I kinda like it that way because I kinda had to put some effort into looking them up. Moving on, the plot of the game is pretty well passable at the time. The game is set years before Dragon Warrior 1, and is the first in the trilogy that finished with Dragon Warrior 2. You had just turned 16, and knowing the Dark King Baramos on the rampage, you, along with 3 other companions, journey out to slay the Dark King and return peace to the world. Yeah, not going to lie, it's pretty basic and gives you no real reason to care about the characters or even the world Dragon Warrior 3 is set in. It amounts to being Evil King rules. You, hero, go collect several orbs and kill them. Then again, it was an NES game, and I kind of like how you eventually got back to Alfgard from Dragon Warrior 1. You know, it kind of tugs on my nostalgia strings a little bit. The graphics for a 2001 Game Boy Color game are pretty decent. The world has been expanded so you can see it better on a small screen. Enemies have more of an anime look and feel to them now. And there's really not a lot bad I can say about graphics. Sure, the dungeons can get confusing with sections blacked out and not be able to tell if it's a pit or not. It's still a solid effort for remaking a game that came out in 1992 or 1989 and put it on a machine in 2001. The audio is also fairly well done. The tracks are replicated good enough for you to recognize them. The problem I have is that I wish there was more. I only noticed about 4 or 5 tracks in the game, and while they're decent enough tracks, they won't set the world on fire. It will help the game a little bit and elevate it more than your average remake if they will maybe remix the track or 2, add a little bit more as far as music's concerned. But still, for a pure remake, it sounds like a fairly well-sounding game. The gameplay has not aged well at all. I can never play Dragon Warrior 3 on the NES because of how dated it is. The thing is that the game did try to make some subtle improvements. The game reduced grinding to make it more manageable to play through. The game also added a new side quest system where you can collect these tiny medals to unlock rare armor and weapons. The game also fundamentally works. If you have ever played a Dragon Warrior game after 2, that's fundamentally a good gameplay engine. This game also expanded the open world elements of the first 2 games when it was released. Back in the day, it was the founding point that people would expand on. This would eventually lead to the creation of the open world genre with games such as Grand Theft Auto, Driver, and so on. The problem is that after the first half, it gets so cryptic that you really do need a walkthrough to get through this game, and that's just me personally. The game also features a class changing system that would be the foundation of some other RPGs such as Final Fantasy V. You can change classes at any time you're above level 20 at the cost of going back to level 1. There are bonus classes such as Sage, which is probably pretty much the only one you really gotta go after. The problem is that when you do get them, your characters will be so far ahead that you'll need to spend another 2 hours grinding them to make them up to par. Not to mention you're going to change them, like I said, at level 20. This only serves as padding to extend the length of the game. Not to mention, this is a hard game to finish. Another problem I have with the game is that there are 2 ways to die in the game. Your party before all dies, or gets hit with a paralyzing status. If you die, you lose half your money. Now, do I have to explain why 2 different ways to get game over is stupid? Sure, it's not so bad early game, but it gets worse late game when enemies can take 2 attacks a turn and use them virtually to auto-kill your party or get your healer hit so you can't heal the others. I don't know if it's my luck, but every rare chance to auto-kill spell, such as Beat or Defeat, picks exactly the wrong time for them to work. For example, when I'm lost near the end of a dungeon, just to show off one of the times that these spells seem to just hit and just send me back another 10 to 15 minutes, going back to heal my party, or even revive, which comes at the cost the further and the more level ups you get in the game. Those asshole freaking priests think, oh, even though you're a hero, we kinda gotta jack up the price because it costs more and more for us to heal your stupid ass or revive your stupid asses, so just keep ratcheting up the price. Yeah, a lot of fun. When Byromos goes to kick the crap out of you, I'm not saving your ass. To chalk up the whole gameplay, little to no hints on how to complete objectives, a steep early punishment for changing classes, and a brutal jump in difficulty near the last third of the game makes Dragon Warrior 3 gameplay a real test of patience, and you're gonna need probably the patience of a saint to try and finish this game off. Overall, Dragon Warrior 3 is just an okay remake of a game that time kicked the crap out of. The changes in the game weren't needed, but not enough was done for it to compete with other better games at the time, such as Pokemon. If you need to play this piece of history, then the Gameboy Color version is the way to go. I think it'll take a lot of patience and luck for people to finish this game and truly enjoy it for what it is. And maybe a little bit of nostalgia. Overall, I would give Dragon Warrior 3 a 6 out of 10. I couldn't exactly finish it myself, but still, I think there are elements of this game that are definitely worth looking at if you are a video game historian. But for everybody else, I would heed my warnings about this game.